Hey buds! Welcome back to Thursday. I am your Thursday bud Danny. How you doing? So, today, I know I promised holiday themed videos for basically the entire month of December, starting after Thanksgiving, but today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are doing basically a part 2 of the hashtag getting real, it's okay to not be okay video. We are going to be covering the second part of it's okay to not be okay. And what that is that it's okay to move on. So in the first video, I said for a second that as long as you're doing something to make yourself more okay, it's okay to not be okay. But I didn't really cover that in length, and I feel like I should have. So in the last video, I told you guys how I was dealing with a situation with a couple more people that had kind of just left out of my life again, and I wasn't really feeling much towards the situation, that I didn't really know how to explain, and I was kind of bottling everything up, but that I finally unbottled it and everything felt a little bit better. Anyways, so since that happened, I've been feeling like kind of void inside and not really feeling anything anymore, which isn't pleasant actually. Like, you don't know, like, unless you've experienced it, you don't know how it feels to not have emotion. It is not fun. Like, it's freaky, like really freaky. But anyways, in that time, I've realized that I've let my relationship with God kind of slip away, and that's not a good thing. And so the other night, I was crying to God, and I was saying, God, I'm so empty. I feel so void. And he pointed out to me that I've been fighting my own battles instead of letting him fight them for me. And there's only so long you can fight before you've got nothing left in you. So that night, I decided to turn the fight back over to God, who it belongs to, and I've been feeling a lot better, actually. I've been feeling again. Like, I don't feel void anymore. Like, I'll have a few moments here and there, but like, I've started reading my Bible and kind of just filling myself up with God again, because, you know, when you've got nothing left, you can pick what you fill yourself back up with. And so I've decided to fill myself up with God, which is what should be filling me up anyways. So even though that situation really affected me in a way that I wasn't expecting, it was time that I started to really focus on being okay. And what I needed to do was move on. I needed to move on from what was happening and really start to build my relationship with God again. Because God is the absolute best thing that you can move towards. Because He's the comforter, He's your rock, He will always be there. He knows every single thing about you, and I can't even start to explain how amazing God is. But so I decided that I needed to move on and move towards God instead of staying in the past where this situation was kind of keeping me. Because what this situation did was it made me think about the past. It made me think about, like, all the other people that have walked out of my life. It made me even think about, like, how bad things were whenever I was being bullied and how I almost committed suicide. And it sent me backwards instead of what I need to be doing, which is moving forward with my life. And I actually read in Proverbs 4, 25 to 27 last night, and where it says, set your gaze on the path before you with fixed purpose, looking straight ahead. Ignore life's distractions, which is basically anything that takes you somewhere where you shouldn't be. It's a distraction. Watch where you're going, stick to the path of truth, and the road will be safe and smooth before you. Don't allow yourself to be sidetracked for even a moment, or take the detour that leads to darkness. And honestly, the past is full of darkness sometimes. Like, nobody has a perfect life. There is times where you screw up or you've had people hurt you, and that's all in the past. It's darkness back there now. Like, yeah, there are some great memories in the past. Like, everybody, I hope, has some great memories of times in their life. But we cannot stay in the past. Like, sometimes I will go think about past memories just to remember what a great time I had then. But honestly, if I stay there too long, I just think about how that time is over now. And then I start to get sad again. And it's like, well, why did I even go there in the first place? It's just going to make me sad. So what we really need to be doing is moving forward with our lives instead of looking at the past. There is this great song by Hawk Nelson, actually, called A Million Miles Away. So the lyrics in this one part go, that day you changed me, and you made my past my past. And all I know is that I'm not going back. What's done is done, what's gone is gone. You came to right my every wrong, and leave them right where they belong, a million miles away. And further every day, since I met you, everything that I used to carry disappeared in the dust behind me, a million miles away. And that song it really speaks to me when I'm kind of stuck in a rut. Because, like it says, the past is the past. It's behind me. It shouldn't be what I'm looking at all the time. Because honestly, I want to look to the future. And that's really hard sometimes because, the future is a mystery. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. But with God, you can always be assured that whatever happens in the future is going to be for your benefit. It's not going to be for your destruction. Because Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. So what's great is that even if a current situation is really sucking, we can move on from that. Like, don't stay in a situation where you're sad or that's making you unhappy. Like, if you've got a friendship situation or a family situation or just a bad relationship, period, move on from that. Like, get out of that, man. Like, if someone is treating you like crap, you need to have more value in yourself. Like God has in you. God sees you as so freaking valuable. It's ridiculous. Like, you need to move on and see yourself how God sees you, as just so precious, this unbelievable treasure that He would send His only Son to die for. You can literally say, Jesus thinks I'm to die for. Oh gosh, this is not a lame pickup line video or cheesy jokes. But that's true. Jesus thinks we're to die for because He literally did die for us. So He thinks pretty dang highly of us. So it's really easy to kind of get stuck in the past and what's happened in life. But we need to think about what's going to happen in the future. We need to think, okay, this situation isn't great, but, always add a but what's going to happen next is going to be great. Because God has so much better of a plan for our lives that we don't need to look in the past. There's stuff in my past that I wish I had made a better decision. There's stuff in my past that still hurts me sometimes, like being bullied. But I refuse to let it control my life. I refuse to let it bug me for more than a few minutes. Because if I let it bug me for more than a few minutes, then I'm going to be stuck in the past forever. And that means I'm not moving forward to what God has for me. And that's really the goal that we all need to have, is moving forward to what God has for us. Have you guys ever seen the Disney movie Meet the Robinsons? Their entire motto in that movie is keep moving forward. I encourage you to watch that movie. It's a good movie. Anyways, but it's true. We have to keep moving forward. It's okay to not be okay, but you can't stay there. You can't continue to not be okay. You have to move forward. You have to try to make yourself more okay. Like, talk to God, talk to your parents, talk to somebody that you trust, and get yourself more okay. That's the whole point of this kind of thing. Like, that was actually the point I was trying to make in the last video, that it's okay to not be okay, but you need to do stuff to make yourself okay. So it's okay to not be okay for a time, but you need to get to a place where you are okay. Like, that lost relationship, it affected me for a while, but now I'm okay because I'm doing something to move forward from the hurt that I experienced. And that's the whole point. Like, if somebody hurts you, it's okay to not be okay in that time, but you need to move forward after a little bit. You need to move forward. You need to press on to what God has for you, because your future is so bright, you have to squint. And Dave Duell said that, actually. He was a really incredible man. You can YouTube him. He was really cool. So even if your current situation might not be super great, remember this verse from Jeremiah 29:11 that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." So you know what you need to do now? Even if your current situation sucks, move on. Just start pressing towards what God has for you. Don't let life be a distraction for you anymore. Don't let the situation be a distraction anymore. Focus on what's coming in the future. Focus on what you have to look forward to. Like, if you're still, like, super young, think about getting done with school. Think about how great it's going to feel when you graduate. Like, if you're a little bit older, think about how great it's going to be to get your license or get a job soon, because that's going to be really fun. And if you're older like me, think about how great it's going to be when you get married and have kids or something. Because, well, honestly, that's what I want in life. I want to get married and have kids. But that might not be your goal. So whatever you're looking forward to, look forward to it. Think about, okay, soon this is going to happen. And this current situation is going to be like nothing compared to how great it's going to be when I finally get to the place God has for me. And it's going to be so great. So it's okay to not be okay, but it's even better to move on. So if you're in a bad situation, it's okay to move on from that. If somebody has hurt you, it's okay to move on from that. You don't have to stay there anymore. Like, you might still feel the emotions of that for a while, but it's okay to move on from that, man. Like, seriously. And you'll be so much happier when you finally get to move on from what's happening that's crappy. And so, yeah, that is basically the whole point of my video. I will link that song "A Million Miles Away" by Hawk Nelson down in the description so you can check out the full version of that song. It is a really good song. And I will also put down the verses that I used in this video so you guys can reread them. I used the Passion Translation for Proverbs 4:25-27, but the other one is in the NIV version, I think. So, but anyways, I will link all that down in the description. I'll lay it out in detail. I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for tuning in. Tune in on Saturday for a Christmassy themed challenge, and I will see you buds then. Bye, buds!